I have read all about philosophy, physics, and spiritualism. The act of telling you this gives me dopamine and feeds my ego when I see how fascinated you are by me. This is spiritual materialism. Personally, I believe in knowledge for knowledge's sake, and that people should just learn about whatever they're curious about. Follow your bliss, as they say. There are other people out there who pursue knowledge for accolades and praise, which is really funny to me because why wouldn't you just do something else if you're only interested in other people's opinions about you? I know a guy who can spin fire poi around, and that dazzles a lot of people. He didn't even need to go to college. Maybe that's not good enough, and they want to be seen as a genius or something. Relatedly, materialism is the collection of objects to make yourself feel better or impress others. Don't you realize all the world's a play, and those are just our costumes and props? Why are you so focused on the props instead of the acting? Anyway, spiritual materialism is the guy who just parrots stuff the Buddha said or quotes scripture without actually understanding the true meaning of it or putting it into practice. Holier than thou is the feeling these people chase because they are either afraid of going to some place bad when they die, or they're using their spiritual knowledge to flex. And that's just like the opposite of what you should be doing. It's almost as if they're trying to impress their chosen deity by doing that. But wouldn't using your knowledge to help people along demonstrate more piety to a god than using it to berate others? Maybe they can't tell the difference. I think this can also come from a human need to correct others when you think they're doing something wrong. I used to do this a lot because I myself was very big on needing everything to be logically sound and for people to use words correctly. And yes, I had a Reddit account. Even making this video is me ironically complaining about other people doing something wrong. But now, instead of doing things to feed my ego or bring others down to elevate myself, I only correct other people when it's absolutely necessary. Like, they're screwing up their lives necessary. And I just want people to understand that, putting others down doesn't help them. It only makes them more insecure. Then they carry that with them and usually end up putting other people down in the same way. This creates a negativity ripple effect that goes out into the world, and that's what negative karma is, I think. So it's totally fine to correct people, but it's extremely important in how you approach doing it, because you can end up traumatizing someone if you're too harsh. I've had people tell me that they still remember something mean I told them in high school, and it does make me feel bad that that happened, even though I was totally unaware of the effect I was having on other people. So am I discouraging becoming more knowledgeable, spiritual, or educated? No. I highly encourage the pursuit of those things. I even encourage pursuing trivial knowledge, like video game lore or fun facts about animals. I'm just saying this stuff doesn't make you a better person. Being a better person makes you a better person. And even then, the only person you're better than is the person you were yesterday, because everyone is living a different life and the lessons you had to learn might not even be applicable to someone else. I've also noticed that this attitude is only prevalent in certain countries. Take America, for example, the place I live. The people here are insane. I've always held the belief that this is because our country was founded on rebellious principles during the American Revolution and picking yourself up by the bootstraps during the colonial and frontier period. John Smith legendarily told aristocrats that came to colonize but didn't want to help, quote, "He who shall not work shall not eat." And that little phrase just stayed in American consciousness through taught history lessons in high school. It's rooted itself into the minds of patriots all across the country. The problem with this is that we don't live in colonial times where everyone absolutely needs to till the soil or we'd all starve. But anyway, before I become the friend that's too woke, I bring this up only to say that instead of collecting things, people are now collecting ideas, which is a good thing for our society, don't get me wrong, but people are also treating these ideas like things. On sites like TikTok, you see people blathering on and on about pseudo-psychological theories that are rooted in truth but applied with too broad a brush. Terms like gaslighting and love bombing get brought up all the time as red flags, but in reality, most of the time, words like this are misapplied or used on something that is actually harmless. So to wrap things up, I just want to say, when you collect any form of knowledge, try to understand the principles underlying said knowledge, and don't just use this information as a weapon against others, but as a tool to elevate yourself and the people closest to you, even if that means coming to terms with hard truths. Tell me what you think in the comments, because this feeds my ego and makes me feel good.